Recording in progress.
Getting a rouse out of us. That's the whole point. Get a rouse out of the right so that they'll fight with the left. And the left will just triple down, quadruple down, take another jabba dabba do, and, and then double down after that. I mean, there's obviously they did it only for that purpose. The whole point of the movie is probably just to stoke tensions between the right and left, and also nobody wants to go to Disney World. I mean, Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. Robinette. What? I thought it was like Robert. There's no way that's actually Robinette. Can somebody please tell me if this is really his name?
All right. Start the show here. I'm going to cut the tunes. All right. How's everybody doing today? I hope it's going well. I hope you're having a good week after July 4th. I hope everybody had a good July 4th. I know I did. We do have the big stories coming out, of course. The same things as always. We always know what they're going to roll out. And once again, with the Gematria number games, we're just going to start off with that. We know that they love to always do a good ritual. It's always the right day of the year for a good ritual. And today, we're going to talk about a little 185 Gematria ritual from these clowns. And, like we've talked about before, the way they're able to pull this off, I don't even think it's intentional. I think it's just the demons to a degree. But I do think that there's a satanic element in all this, and being able to make things happen that are not really not reasonable. You ever watch some of the stuff with the NFL number games? I mean, there'll be 13 seconds on a clock, and the score is exactly what it is, with the day of the year, stuff like that. They don't do that on purpose. Like, there's no way they could possibly do that intentionally. So, but yeah, we're going to dive into this story here. Let's take a look-see. All right. So right here we got Robert Bobby Crimo III. All right, and the reason I put all those names in there, I know it seems like a stretch, but this is what all the websites refer to him as. I don't know his actual middle name. It starts with an E. But, this is what you see everywhere you go, is they have it written, Robert Bobby Crimo III, and we got the first number here. It's a nice 185. And what was that Yellowstone one that I did on 165? Right? That was 20 days ago. And so I thought, there's no way the next big story is going to line up perfectly with the numbers. But what do we got? I said, what's July 4th? What's July 4th? I'm like, there's no way. Ooh, July 4th is the 185th day of the year. All right, so there you go. You got your 185 Crimo here. However you say that. And by the way, I don't know if y'all have seen his rap videos, but They're pretty much all off of YouTube. I saw it on some lawyer channel. These lawyer channels they blow my mind with their follower counts. I'm just like, dang, I should have become a lawyer. I think I'd be a good lawyer, honestly, but I don't want to go to law school. I don't think I could get through the schooling portion at all. I refuse to be muzzled or put things in my body so I can get a document that says I'm qualified. So, but yeah, I don't know what the other numbers mean. I'm sure if anybody else knows more than me about this, they could break it down farther. But we know all of these people, it's always the same story. Law enforcement knew that they were a nut, knew that that people were gonna that they were probably gonna do something one day. And now we can see that he did do something. So sorry, a big noise went on outside. I made me lose my train of thought. But now they're gonna push the mental health thing. And what is mental health? We got a bunch of leftists telling us about mental health, the most deranged mentality you could possibly have, and they just keep driving the point home. Mental health, mental health, mental health. Well, who to them is mentally unhealthy? Could it be the people that they've been calling Nazis for the past 7 years? Could that be it? Or we see it in these cases with these kind of events that the person is on the SSRIs. Always on. So what they say is you're mentally unhealthy. You need to go and talk to a doctor who's going to help you get your chemical imbalance in check. And I heard a really good argument saying well, if I tell you this water is acidic, you can do a pH test. You don't have to believe me. But if I tell you your chemicals are out of whack because I've got this piece of paper, you've got to believe me. There's no pH test for this. What do? Just stick it on their tongue. Oh yeah, you've got depression. And the article I'm about to go through here actually goes over a lot of cases, one, of these events happening, and it's always people prescribe these drugs. And then two, we've got here, let's just dive in. What was the other thing that they did? It's far back in the article, so I didn't want to pull it up because I didn't want to lose my place. But, oh yeah, they did a study, and it was like 6,500 people diagnosed with depression. And they, and depression is a specific thing. You have to have specific things in order to have clinical depression. And that only 38% of people diagnosed with depression actually meet those requirements. So they're actually just being drugged for really no reason other than to further destroy their mental state. So, they tell you you've got a mental illness. So you run to this doctor. He makes your mental illness 50,000 times worse because now you feel nothing. It makes you, a lot of these people are just, it puts them in a haze, like even other stuff, like even things that aren't necessarily mental things, like Adderall. I know from when I was a kid and got off the Adderall, it really, like, you're in like a haze. It affects your mental state, so that's just Adderall. Imagine what these other freaking these things that are supposed to release feel goods in your brain, and so yeah, let's read this article. I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's really long, from psychreg.org. I actually really liked this. I thought that this sums it up. This will be pretty quick, and it'll be okay. There's a, here comes the, correlation does not equal causation crowd, but we've got quite a bit of a correlation here. So, it's quite a bit, and actually this isn't even all of it. This is just the blatant, very well-known cases primarily. So let's read this. In most cases, the vast majority of people who suffer from mental illness are nonviolent. Even those who self-harm are highly unlikely to hurt others. In fact, these individuals are more likely to become victims of violent crimes than the general public. And yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if you're a crazy person, you're out on the street, saying crazy things to people, I mean, you're very likely to get some sort of issue with somebody. Yet after each mass event, the media fills with psychiatrists who say that the individual didn't seek the help they needed, and that with the proper treatment, the tragedy may have been prevented. But research doesn't support this philosophy. In fact, depression in particular doesn't lead to violence, yet since the increase of SSRI antidepressants being widely prescribed, the rise in these events has increased right along with it. And evidence shows that many mass event doers were either taking or had recently taken SSRIs. Now, I'm just saying, that to not say what it is. Y'all know what it is. Okay. So here are just some examples. 1989, Joseph Wesbecker walked into his former employee Standard Gravure Corp and shot 20 workers, killing 9. He had been taking Prozac for a month. This shooting led to a landmark case where the survivor sued the makers of Prozac, Eli Lilly. Wesbecker used a semi-automatic Chinese AK, 9mm, a 38 special, all of which he purchased legally, passing his background check. Okay, well, he passed his background check. He probably was fined 20 days before he took the stuff. I don't know. He was probably a nut. Who knows? But you start putting these chemicals in your body, it makes you not care. Like, you literally, that's why these people do something so horrific, many people that are really mentally ill are they're usually it's geared towards themselves. They have issues with that, but not I'm not saying there's not people out there who are going to attack others. There always is going to be that, but come on, when did he start doing it? He had been taking Prozac for a month. Okay, that's 1989. All right? This is when it really started getting bad too, in the 80s. 1995, Jared Victor was 15 when he was prescribed Paxil. 10 days after starting it, Victor stabbed his grandmother 61 times. There you go, 10 days. It's kind of like when you go down to the clinic to get your safety put in your arm, and then you just die in your sleep, 10 days later. Yeah. But hey, there's no correlation. 1996. At 18, Kurt Danish murdered his father just 17 days after being prescribed Prozac by his family doctor, who failed to do even one psychological test. During his police confession, Danish told police the medication made him feel odd. I just act differently. I don't have the energy or personality I used to. I spend half the time in a trance. Wow. Yeah. Ever since he started taking the Prozac. Surprise. I remember when that stuff kind of was popularized when I was a kid. That stuff, that's really not something that, you think about how experimental it was to put that into the public. Wow, humanity just made it, all these thousands of years with no Paxil, no Prozac. And then we got so and do you notice that, like, depression, people just being depressed is just way higher than it was basically throughout all of human history? I've never really read a historical book where the person's like a sad boy, you know what I mean? And things were way worse for them. Just absolutely worse. Like, you cut yourself on a fence and you die of lockjaw, guaranteed, So it's just, I don't know. They weren't out here killing themselves, I guess they just figured, hey, one of these days I'm gonna get lockjaw anyway. That'll keep you positive, though, right? Enjoy every second. You don't know when the lockjaw is coming to get you. All right, here's another one. 1997, Luke Woodham stabbed his mother. Then traveled to Pearl High School, where he was enrolled, using a 30-30 to commit another event on 2 students and wound 6 others. He was stopped by the AP, the assistant principal, aka a good guy with a gun, who used his own .45 to force Woodham's surrender. Big shouts out to that guy. 1998, 15-year-old Kip Kinkle shot both of his parents and carried a 9mm 22 and another 22, triple strap, to his high school, where he murdered 2 classmates and injured 22 more while taking Prozac. 1999, Eric Harris, 17, with Dylan Klebold, we know this one, killed 12 students, 1 teacher himself, and wounded 23 others during the Columbine event. He had been prescribed Zoloft and then Luvox before he used a 12-gauge received through a straw purchaser and a 9mm Tech DC-9. Don't know what that is, but I'm sure some of my friends are saying, you don't know what that is? What the hell, man? Alright, so we haven't even gotten out of the 90s yet. Here we go. 2001, Christopher Pittman, a 12-year-old, was prescribed Zoloft, which caused him to become agitated, jittery, and experience tactile hallucinations. Pittman told psychiatrist Dr. Lynette Atkins that he heard voices telling him, kill, do it. He took a .410 shotgun and shot his grandparents, then burned their house down. Yeah, and there is a demonic element to this too, because one, these companies that make these are demonic, satanic. They're into eugenics and testing on the population and doing all this kind of stuff. I mean, we got a 12-year-old here, and so what happens is the demons don't care that you're 12 years old. The demons don't care what you're going through. Okay, they're going to trick you, and they're going to utilize the things that these humans, give us, this garbage that's supposed to make you feel better, and it always makes you feel worse. I mean, it's just terrible. And outside of somebody who needs like heart medicine or like real medicine, antibiotics or something. I know there's problems with antibiotics, but still, those things are lifesavers. How many of us would be alive if we didn't have the antibiotics to come in and destroy that flu or whatever we got, where you're sick for 10 days and dehydrated and stuff like that, At least that helps blatantly, even if it's risky long term. I mean, hey, you got to do what you got to do. As long as you don't take them too much, it should be fine. But there's, Zoloft and stuff like this, so bad, so sad. 2001 again. Andrea Yates drowned all 5 of her children. She was taking Effexor and was suffering from delusions about satanic possession. I don't think it was a delusion, okay? I think she was satanically possessed. And that's what I just was saying. Wow, it's perfect timing. These people, they are satanically possessed, and they're having satanic issues before they get on these drugs. And then these drugs, it's the final straw. That last little bit of connection to God and reality and other human beings, whether you like them or not, they're other human beings. They can come around, they can repent. I don't know, but when you're on this kind of stuff, it really cuts you off. And you've even heard stories. I haven't really done a deep dive in this, but I've heard plenty of stories of people who, they took their little thing in their arm and, I can't pray anymore. What? You can't pray? Think about how hard it is with our lives, how distracted we are with everything, how hard it already is to make ourselves pray and do what we should be doing, which is praying all the time. But now you take something that you feel like you can't pray. That sounds like the worst nightmare of literally the worst thing I've ever heard. So you're never going to catch me trusting Big Pharma here on the Bays Gossiper stream. All right, there's never going to be a big push for that, unless they come out with something that no, there's really not. It's never gonna happen. All right, so let's finish this one. Andrea Yates drowned all 5 of her children. She was taking Effexor and was suffering from delusions about satanic possession. The murder of her children led Effexor to list homicidal thoughts in the medication's side effects. Wow. Oh, well, Guys, y'all missed that one during the study. Let's add it. Let's add it in. Although it's a rare side effect, manifesting in 1 in 1,000 patients over 19 million prescriptions. That's a shitload of people. That is so many people. And you think maybe they just put a couple little crazy pills in there, mix it in. I think that's what they did with the Jabba Dabba Doodah. I think they made some that were bad, some that were, placebos and things like that. But who knows on that front? I mean, that's what I would do if I was one of these like satanic elite types. That's just what I would do. So I'm just using the dark logic here. It makes sense. Although it's a rare side effect, manifesting in 1 in 1,000 patients, over 19 million prescriptions were written and filled in 2005. In just 2005. That's just 2005. That's an estimated 19,000 people suffering from homicidal thoughts because of the medication. Wow. And think about it. If you were just a person who was already kind of having issues like that, it's going to put you over the edge. You ever, I had a neighbor in Denver. This guy, seems like a real quiet type, kind of chill, whatever. He says, "Hey, me and my girlfriend, we're going to do a little dinner cookout. Come on over." Oh, I'm just getting the chills just even thinking about it. Oh my gosh, this guy. And you know what? We're going to call the guy Craig because that's actually not his name, but that's the name he told me his name was. Okay, so I don't even care if I name the guy. Okay, because I don't even know his damn name. I found that out months later, by the way, that his name was not what he said it is. But let's get back to this. He said, "Me and my girlfriend, we're doing a little cookout if y'all want to come over." So me and my, friend / roommate, we were like, "Okay, yeah, we'll come over." Seems like a cool enough guy. We'll hang out with him. And we come into his house, and he's wearing like a Hanes white t-shirt. This is not like a shirt with an actual, like he bought or something. I mean, it's just like a shitty undershirt. And what he wrote on it was all sorts of weird like writing and words, and had a big pentagram upside down and wrote "Hail Satan" on his shirt. And he told me that he had dreams of doing this kind of stuff. Needless to say, I moved out of that apartment before schedule. But one day, he comes over, and we didn't have a peephole or windows. It was a real shithole apartment in Denver. And he knocked on the door and came over. Me and my friend, we were like, "Dude, we don't fucking want this guy around here. We do not want him around us at all." At this point, we were really sketched out by him and everything, and he ended up saying, "Oh man, I need some papers. Can y'all take me to the gas station?" And we're like, "Yeah, dude, we'll go to the gas station. We'll get some cigarettes and whatnot." And we drive down to the gas station, and as we're driving back, this is kind of near Colfax and Sheridan, but it's like one street over. So for y'all out in the Denver area, you can kind of visualize it. If you know where that park is with the baseball field, forget the name of the street, but it's across the street from that smoke shop and that gas station. It's basically Colfax and Sheridan, but a little bit south of that and to the left toward the mountains. That's where we were. All right. So we're driving back from the gas station back to our apartment, and a cop busts around and turns his lights on and tells us, "Oh, y'all's lights out." And so we're sitting there, and he goes around and gets all of our IDs. Of course, Craig doesn't have an ID. He goes, "Oh yeah, my name's Craig whatever. I'm from Baltimore." Well, they say, he goes back to the car, runs all of our names, comes back and says, "Sir, you need to step out," to Craig. And then the cop literally takes him out, they arrest him, and then put him in the back of their car. The cop comes back and tells me and my friend, he says, "All right, we're going to be taking your friend downtown so y'all can go and get him." And we were like, "He is not our friend. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We don't even," and he was like, "Yeah, his name's not even Craig." And Oh my gosh, dude. I lived next door to that guy for like 5 months. He was scary, dude. And he was this type of person you could not take this guy anywhere. And because like he took my hat and like wore it to a bar, like, and just forgot it. And I was like, hey, dude, like, buy me another hat. Like, I was very poor back then. Like, I bought myself a nice, hat that I liked. Like, it was just, with my money from my job that I freaking slaved over. And, he's over here just takes my hat, wore it to the bar, forgot it. But yeah, he got arrested. Um, I ended up actually, weirdly enough, moving. I had 1 month until my new apartment was ready in Denver, and I literally moved back to Houston in with my parents for a month. Back when they were, in town. So I literally was like living in Houston, for like 20 days, and then went back, grabbed all my stuff as fast as possible, hoping that Craig was never gonna get out of jail, and then I never saw him. Luckily, we got out of there, and so yeah, but yeah. That's how crazy this guy was, and I'm telling you, if you gave him some of this stuff, he's probably already on some of this stuff, but if you gave him it, it would have been a done deal. And the whole point of this is just ultimate. This is like MK Ultra times 10,000. Let's just drug them. Tell them we got the antidote to all their problems. Yeah. All right, let's get to the next one. 2005. 16-year-old Jeff Weiss was taking 60 milligrams daily of Prozac. Sorry, I was looking at the time, making sure I'm good here. Let's see. The highest dosage for adults. So he was taking the highest dose. Called Jeff Weiss. When he shot his grandfather's girlfriend, murdered 10 students at Red Lake, Minnesota, and wounded 12 more before shooting himself. He was armed with a .40 caliber pistol, 22, and a 12 gauge. 2008, Stephen Kazmierek was prescribed Prozac, Xanax, and Ambien, a sleeping medication, 3 weeks before walking into Northern Illinois University, killing 6 people and wounding 21. With 3 pistols chambered in 9mm, blah blah blah, shotgun. They always have like 3 freaking things. Kazmierek, I don't even know his last name. Kazmierek had stopped taking the antidepressant because it made him feel like a zombie. So, yeah. And he was on Prozac, Xanax, and Ambien. Yeah, I'm sure you feel like a zombie, dude. I've taken half a Xanax in my life, and didn't feel anything. But the next morning, I was so tired. It's like I didn't even sleep. But I slept like 10 hours. And it's like, this is the stupidest drug. And I've never taken a dose that would like do anything to you. You know what I mean? But, and I don't support any drug use, by the way. I just want to throw that out there. I've tried it. I did ingest, and it was stupid beyond all belief. Okay, so really, and honestly, that's a drug, Xanax, that I've seen, especially here in Texas, is a big problem with that. And honestly, I think it's one of the worst drugs there's ever been. I genuinely, like, I've had friends that, they, addicted to drugs, and, honestly, they're fairly functional on their drugs of choice, but then they start mixing in the Xannies, the Zanzibars, and then it's a done deal. It is. You got about 2 weeks till you're in jail or dead at that point, because it's you have no control, absolutely no control. I mean, I honestly think Xanax is, heroin's really dangerous, but I don't see Xanax as being any less dangerous, really. I think it's actually worse than heroin. At least heroin's like disgusting, and it'll ruin your life quick. You're going to be drenched in sweat. You're going to be withdrawing right away. But Xanax, same thing. If you quit it after doing it for years, you're going to have seizures. I mean, it's a terrible, terrible freaking drug. But hey, it's legal, whatever. 2 weeks after starting Lexapro, Robert Stewart walked into his estranged wife's work at Pine Lake Health and Rehab and opened fire. He killed 8 elderly patients and wounded 3 others. He doesn't remember the incident. There you go. Okay. We're not even done, okay? So don't think we're done. 2012. James Holmes, also known as the Batman movie killer, was taking sertraline when he walked into the showing of The Dark Knight with 2 .40 calibers, an AR-style rifle, 12-gauge shotgun, you know the thing, they got all that stuff. Killing 12 people and injuring 70 others. Wow, I was actually living in Denver when that happened. Yeah, not too far from there, actually. I was pretty close. But yeah, it's crazy. In his personal notebook, which he sent to his psychiatrist the same day, of course he sent it to his psychiatrist. I mean, these people are like their inverted, like, spiritual father, right? It's like a satanic, he's, instead of prescribing you repentance and the body and blood of Christ, they're going to give you Lexapro and Prozac. So he sent it to his psychiatrist the same day as the event. Shows that as the medication... Wait. In his personal notebook, which he sent to the... It shows that as the medication decreased his anxiety, he lost his fear of consequences. He lost his fear of consequences. And I've heard this from multiple people. I'm actually on this Reddit... and I really these guys are awesome on this one Reddit page, and they're not even like crazy, truther types like we are here at the Bays Gossiper program, but they're everything they're saying is actually like 40 times more Bays than what I would say about it, because I don't want to talk about things I don't know about. But they'll tell you straight up, they are very against psychiatry. And these are all people who have suffered from being put on these drugs, and the stories on there are pretty crazy. So while his medication decreased his anxiety, he lost all fear of consequences. Yeah. As the dosage became higher, his thoughts became more obsessive and psychotic. There you go. Number 2013. At the time of the Washington Navy Yard shooting, Aaron Alexis was a civilian contractor working at the yard and was prescribed trazodone, a serotonin antagonist and reuptake inhibitor that works much like an SSRI to increase serotonin levels in the brain. He killed 12 and injured 8 others. I will say this about trazodone. And I could be wrong. A lot of these things have similar names, but trazodone, I believe, is very mild. I will say that. I don't know if that would maybe, like, I think that's like a very, like, it's like, 0.2 of a Xanax or something. Like, I don't even think it does much, but it does cut you off. It does cut you off. Now, if you were to pop like 5 of those things, yeah. And I'm guessing this guy might have done that, but I will say that one, trazodone, I don't know. I've heard of trazodone. I don't know. I'm not I don't know much about this kind of stuff, but I do think it's weird, right? And yeah, there's that Anti-Psychiatry is the name of that page on Reddit. So if you want to look at that page and see some real stories, these are not trolls. These are real people. Now, there are people who come in and troll, and the trolls are just like ridiculously stupid on there. But it's, it's really sad to see this stuff. All right, still not done. Okay. What time are we at here? Yeah, sorry, I keep looking at the time. I got work today. I got work. All right. 2015. From the moment it occurred, the Charleston church shooting. Actually, wait, did I skip that one? I did skip one. 2014. Ivan Lopez was a 34-year-old U.S. soldier who shot 15 of his comrades, killing 3 of them, at his base in Fort Hood, Texas. He was undergoing mental health treatment from the VA, which is known for overprescribing medication, especially to the troops. They love to experiment on those guys. Okay. The VA confirmed that Lopez was taking antidepressants. The VA only uses SSRI antidepressants, in parentheses, during the time of the shooting and his suicide. Okay. 2015. From the moment it occurred, the Charleston church shooting has been deemed an act of white supremacy, a race crime against blacks. But 2 years after Dylan Roof shot and killed 9 people and injured another, the court released documents that show it was more mental health than hatred that led to the murders. The documents confirmed he was taking antidepressants. Well, Mr. Bullcut Roof, all right, that was a weird story. And that was all during big time, like that was before everybody started converting, and so all these like hardcore extremist worldviews were really coming out. I mean, I feel like that kind of group of hardcore white supremacist types that kind of died off in 2016. Now I know they're still around. But it's like a fringe internet circle. I actually didn't even know who these guys were anymore. I thought it was all gone. I thought everybody kind of left that racialism behind. I know the leftists will never leave racialism behind, but the white supremacist types, which are really just leftists with a racial preference. That's what it is. I mean, National Socialism is a leftist worldview that puts race on the highest order, kind of thing. And that was really sad too, because they claim, oh, our culture, so you're gonna go kill black Christians? Really? No. Those people are good. I mean, they're not. We don't need to attack anybody, even if they're an enemy of Christ. I mean, unless they need to go to prison or jail or death penalty or something like that. But I'm saying, like, us as individuals, outside of the realm of self-defense, we don't need to be attacking people in general. So I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, that Dylan Roof thing. I mean, that bowl cut. I think that was the biggest crime of all. No, I shouldn't even joke like that. But that bowl cut was a crime in itself. He should get an extra charge on that. All right. 2016. Archon Seaton. We got the Archon here. We got the lizard person, right? That's what old David like. The Cheetah Uri. We got the Cheetah Uri right here. Archon Seaton, who was just 20 years old, walked into the Cascade Mall where he committed an act against 4 women. One was a teen, and then shot 1 man who later died in the hospital. Records show that Seaton was under the care of psychiatrists and taking medication for depression, ADHD, including Prozac. So there you go. Now, I have seen this even in my realm of work with a lot of people who should not be on any sort of thing being put on these drugs. So I'm going to read just a little bit more of this because there is a couple good points that are made later here. So I'm just going to blast through this part. The list goes on. And with the implication of patient privacy laws, getting information on the medication and mental health diagnosis of people has become harder and harder, even with mounting evidence that there's a connection between SSRI use and violence. In 1996, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, commonly referred to as HIPAA, was set in place. HIPAA represents the U.S.'s first attempt at national regulations for the use and disclosure of a person's personal health information, or PHI. Come on now, Frank. Calm down. HIPAA makes it more difficult for medical personnel to release information regarding a person's medical care, diagnosis, and prescription drugs, including those involved with mental health-related crimes. So, there you go. And they actually weaponize HIPAA. Like, HIPAA sounds decent. It's whatever that is. Honestly, I'd have to talk to somebody I know who knows more about that particular thing before I could make a better alternative to that. But HIPAA was used all throughout the pandemic as an excuse for nurses to not be able to talk about the empty hospitals and stuff. So that's why when it was hashtag film your hospital and we were showing all the empty hospitals all around the country, that they would tell the nurses, oh, that is felony, you will lose your license, you will lose everything, so you cannot tell anybody that this shit is empty and nobody's in here at all, because of HIPAA. All right, but we can summon your medical records to prove that you have this in your body before you can get a job. Okay, so HIPAA is it's rules for thee but not for me. That's what HIPAA is. Okay, it's rules for the good nurses and the good doctors, and it's and actually some of the things are actually reasonable. Like I don't think you should be able to just disclose people's information and stuff like that. And there should be you know, what's it called, between the doctor and the patient. You know. All right, let's see here. Doctor-patient confidentiality. That's it. I was sorry. People are talking outside my door. It always distracts the shit out of me. Here we go. For example, in the 2008 Virginia Tech shooting, we got perpetrator Swang Hoi Cho had multiple interactions with the mental health department on campus, some for suicidal ideation, but yet his parents nor the authorities were ever notified. University officials stated privacy laws restricted them from sharing the information. So there you go. There's an example of how HIPAA kind of just leaves, like, it's not really reasonable. Like, there actually is a point where, like, you know, anything violent or anything along that line. But the problem is what is the government going to do about it? So that's because if one person felt suicidal one day of their life, then they don't ever get to own a gun. I don't think that's really reasonable. Because a lot, I mean, come on, a lot of reasonable, and how many people didn't ever feel any suicidal ideation, but they ended up taking one of these drugs and they went through, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, or how many people, you know, went through a really bad time in their life, and then, you know, so now they are cut off. I mean, it's just weird. It's weird, and a lot of this stuff, I mean, it's these drugs, and it's clear. I mean, we just went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We went through like 13 different cases right there. And then we've got the one of recent, and I'm gonna do a deeper dive maybe on that because I've heard that the mom of this what's his name, Crimo here, Robert Bobby Crimo, the third. And then I was like, is he the third? Because I was like, without the third, he was a 182. I was like, I don't know if it's the third. And then I went ahead and put in the 3, and then I was like, here he is, you know, totally a 185 ritual, totally what we thought it was, you know. I mean, every time there's a big news story, I'm telling you, just run the headline through one of these gematrinators, and it's going to be that day of the year. Actually, the guy who made this website, I think it's what's his name? Who I don't espouse any of this guy's worldview, but what's his damn name? Zachary Hubbard, right? The gematria guy. You know, he's done some good research. I think that he takes a stance that is fundamentally just as evil as the globalists. You know what I mean? That's my issue with him. Just because it's like, you know, it's like I get the normies are really annoying and everything, but you still don't have a justification for how gematria works. Okay, that's my issue with the Hubbard crowd. They don't really get why it works. The reason it works and why it always lines up like that is because it's demonic. That's the work of demons. That's how they operate, and they're able to do things that human beings wouldn't be able to pull off reasonably. This is why people get crazy on a full moon, for instance. The demons know they can trick people into thinking the full moon makes people crazier. And I know from people who work in the hospitals, apparently it actually is true. The hospitals are busier on a full moon. But that's also because the demons, you know, they've got that, you know, they're more active maybe, but I doubt they're more active. I think people just believe they're more active. And so it kind of, you know, makes it happen, you know, because you're believing it. So it makes it happen. So this is just more of their little gematria, freaking number games with this stuff. I wanted to show the video of him in his music video. Let me see if I have that pulled up here. Let's go ahead here and do what's it called? What's that name of that stream, right? What's that stupid that news thing, right? I was trying to think of, can you even see? Okay, here we go. This guy.
And protect them. Like, well,
All right. This isn't what I'm trying to show. I'm just going to show y'all a little part of this video, of his music video. So here's our guy here, right? Starts at 26 minutes. We're just going to go a little ahead. All right, so this is the music video of our Cremo guy here.
I hope this doesn't get copy struck because, you know.
I hope mine doesn't either.
Okay. Yeah.
Does it not sound?
Oh shit! I don't have the sound shared. I don't have the sound shared. Just saying. I'll get it. I'll get it.
All right,
Okay,
let's
I'm
go.
upset.
Let's go. Almost there.
Here
Let's
we
do
go.
this.
Here we go. There's no bars yet. Just this atmospheric music.
No longer feeling I've killed all my demons and walking through hell. Realize the reason I felt like I needed these drugs in my head to escape from myself. Please don't come back, Rose. I know the future. I sold my soul for a phone and a computer.
Stop bothering. Stop bothering.
Patient, cause every day's really been feeling the same. Fuck what is real. I just wanna scream. Sometimes it feels like I'm living a dream. Sometimes it
Yeah. So there you go. Sometimes it feels like I'm living a dream. I think he said I sell my soul for a phone and a computer. And then the video goes on, and there's more imagery here with this is the really demented part, right? So just look at this. I'm not gonna play the video, but this is from his music video. This is his little, you know, cartoon. Yeah, Awake the Rapper. That's his name. So, and I've tried to look it up. I couldn't just get that, so I had to go through this guy's channel to show this. But yeah, isn't that pretty wild? I mean, but what do you even? Hey, Frank, seriously, shut, Frank. It's just the neighbors, man. Man, these little kids. They're screaming in some foreign language. All right. Very loud. All right. I need to keep it under control over there. All right. Let's see here. But welcome to your new world order, right? Yeah. Let's go. Let's see here. Anything else for today? You know, I was thinking maybe I'll cover some of these science stories, but I really I'm doing a deep dive. I've already started doing my research. It's probably gonna take me the time to really do it justice, so I don't think I'm gonna do it for a while. But I had a bunch of dinosaur things pulled up because, you know, the dinosaur narratives are just ridiculous. You know, the numbers always change. It's always a different year. Oh, we just found a new way to date things that is better than the old way. It's like, you do know all your math revolves around, like, you change one number in a math equation, it's done, dude. You messed up. You got it wrong, generally speaking, unless it's like multiplied by 1 or something. But, you know, if you know, add the wrong number anywhere, it's gonna throw everything off. But I mean, you know, do you really believe you live on a tilt-a-whirl in space that's going, you know, 66,000 miles per hour around the sun? I don't believe that. While the sun is flying 500,000 miles per hour through space? Yeah, that's what you believe? Like, you believe in a tilt-a-whirl? Come on now. It's freaking ridiculous. Yeah. Human ancestor fossils in the cradle of humankind may be more than 1 million years older than thought. Yeah. So look at these apes that they give you here, right? They think that we were monkeys. I mean, seriously, how stupid is that? And I actually, you know, I'm going to be doing a deep dive. I'm going to do a whole show on dinosaurs. That's kind of my goal, because I think dinosaurs is one specific subject of the Darwinian thing that just really debunks it all. And also, it's just so stupid, and it's like a trope in our society. You know, it's kind of like the moon landing, but the moon landing is way more criticized publicly. Dinosaurs is ridiculous, but I need to do a deep dive so I can do it justice. because I know that there's some. I don't know. I really am not that familiar with the parts of the Old Testament that talk about the Leviathan. So that's why I got to figure out what that even really is. And I don't think I don't think we are ruled over by Godzilla. Okay, I don't think that a bunch of dinos, a bunch of Nessies, Loch Ness monster used to rule the world. That is the mainstream belief that Loch Ness monster ruled the world. So I just can't I can't espouse that. So I'm going to do a deep dive on the Darwinian nonsense because it's really easy. I actually heard a great simple argument for it from BPF actually over there on the Crucible. That's a shameless plug for the Crucible over there. Where I mean the fact is we have as Christians we have way more empirical data than any of these clowns that espouse this. They've never empirically witnessed evolution taking place, and they've never seen life come from something that's not alive, yet they believe it. So yeah, there you go. But I'm going to save that for another day. I don't think we've got too much else. Maybe hey, this was a big one, and I'm going to just cover this real quick because some of y'all might be young. Some of y'all might be new to this stuff. I can't imagine being 18 years old right now, getting out of high school, and just thinking, man, this world is crazy, right? And trying to figure things out in the world. So this is for the youngins. Most of y'all already know all this stuff. This is pretty easy, pretty obvious. So, but we had the what's it called? The Georgia Guidestones. There was an explosive that went off that destroyed part of the Guidestones. And quite honestly, it's been a long time coming. I mean, I think it's weird that everybody's covering it, even on mainstream news and stuff, because this used to be so fringe back in like 2012 when I would talk about the Georgia Guidestones. Everybody would say, you're a nut job, you're crazy, you believe that they actually write this? Yes, they do write this. So this is for those who don't know about the Georgia Guidestones. If you do, like most of us, forgive me, but I do want the youngins to be educated on this. So this is a stone kind of thing. It looks like this. It's kind of like a Stonehenge type thing. But it's got a bunch of different languages, but it says the same thing on it in a bunch of different languages on each stone. And it's all about global goals, kind of Agenda 21 type stuff. So let's just read those real quick. Number 1, maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Yeah, 500 million. We got to get those numbers down. We got to get them down. You see, we're going to be going through a winter number of years, so, Y'all remember that? Sky, dude. Okay, number 2, guide reproduction wisely. Okay, eugenics. Improving fitness and diversity. No, that's eugenics. That's okay. We want to make sure that we have a fit slave class to make sure, but this is the funny thing about it. Is that they are I was watching How America Works the other night, and it's a good show, but it really puts into perspective how everything we've got cannot exist with the numbers that the global elite want. So they can go ahead and destroy everything. It's just going to become trash and filth. Who's going to clean up all the poop? Who's going to clean up? Who's going to build the machinery that builds everything? These cranes have to be made. You don't even think about that kind of stuff. It's insane how much big machinery is made every year in America. America alone, not the whole world. So just think about it. They want to, their private jets are going to break down within 3 weeks, and they're not going to have access to a proper mechanic. At all. Or they're not going to have the shipments in for the parts, even if they do have the mechanic. So their ideas are just freaking ridiculous and retarded. It's all going to blow back in their face. And then God will come back and it'll really blow back in their face. But but here we go. So we got, guide reproduction wisely. Number 3, unite humanity with a living new language. Okay, so there's your Babylonian new language there. So we all have to speak the same language. Number 4, rule passion, faith, tradition, and all things with tempered reason. So no passions, no faith, no tradition, because that is just not reasonable. I mean, where does the line get drawn on that? Number 5, protect people and nations with fair laws and just courts. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes in a world court. World court. Let all nations rule internally, resolving external disputes. Okay. Avoid petty laws. I'm surprised number 6 is actually not that globalist. Number 7, avoid petty laws and useless officials. Yeah. Defund the police. Number 8, balance personal rights with social duties. Number 9, prize truth, beauty, love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Starting to sound a bit like Terence McKenna. Oh, we prize truth and beauty and love, seeking harmony with the infinite. Number 10, be not a cancer on the earth. Leave room for nature. Leave room for nature. Wow. So yeah, that's what the Georgia Guidestones say. For those of y'all who maybe just don't remember or, need to learn about this stuff. This is kind of stuff we take for granted, us that have been doing this research for, I'm not even that old, but somebody's been doing it for, there's people who've been knowing about this stuff for 30 years, talking about it. So, they know all about the Georgia Guidestones, but some people don't. You got to go back and you got to cover some things. All right, let's see if there's anything else that really needs to get covered. I mean, I don't think so. I think that was a pretty good stream. Pretty happy with it. Let's see, though. Let's see. I don't want to miss anything that's super good, right? Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one, because I don't want to cover this next time. So next time I want to talk about dinosaurs or something. But Sesame Street takes shots from critics for vaccinating Elmo to promote the child COVID-19 jabs. So yeah, Elmo has myocarditis now, guys. We got the long-running children's program Sesame Street and its most iconic character Elmo have once again been conscripted into promoting the social priorities of the federal government. This time with a social media clip about the furry red Muppet receiving a COVID-19 jabba dabba doo to encourage parents to vaccinate their children. Elmo got the COVID vaccine today. Just like Elmo's mommy and daddy. Elmo's daddy had a lot of questions, but Elmo's doctor said the vaccine would help keep Elmo healthy, and all of Elmo's friends and family too. I mean, this is to get parents to do this for their kids. You see how they talk to us? And seriously, if you're on the fence and you're about to do this to your kid, don't do it. Don't do it. I doubt anybody who's listening to this is on the fence about this subject, but seriously, don't do it. It's terrible. We just went through all the other things from Big Pharma earlier in this stream. Do you think this one's going to be any good? I mean, this is our pharmaceutical, thing. Y'all remember back when the left, like back when I was more of a leftist, like we were anti-Big Pharma. We were kind of, I guess I was more libertarian, I guess you would say, than a leftist, but I mean, compared to now, I would call it a pretty leftist, honestly. I was a vegan, I like lived in my car for a couple years, but I was going to write a book called The Homeless Vegan. It was going to be an homage to like Abby Hoffman, steal this book kind of thing, but it was going to be like eating for free, but like not eating meat, that was kind of the thing. It was going to be really like, or not free necessarily, but like, really like, finding like where good places to find outlets to like plug in a little personal microwave or something that you keep in your car, It was going to be called The Homeless Vegan, but yeah, never wrote it. Thankfully. Oh, here's the Elmo's mommy and daddy lied to him so that they can brag to their friends and improve their social status. And Elmo's doctor is afraid to oppose government narrative so as to not lose her license. Bad and sad. Bad and sad. Next week, Elmo's mom will now demonstrate how to correctly place the junior heart monitor on Elmo's little chest. Oh, Lord have mercy. I really, really, really hope that these kids that get this are going to be okay, but we know that they're not. I mean, some of them will be, but we know that, it's all over the place, but I got to watch what I'm talking about with that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't think there's really anything else for today. Just hope everybody's having a good one. I hope y'all like the new intro song there. It was going to be an outro song usually for other streams, but I wanted to play it right off the bat today so that we could get some good, new songs for the people who don't listen to the whole stream, which I'm sure will be most people. But I think that was a pretty good one. I think that information was interesting. I didn't know about a lot of those cases, and I really have been wanting to find a good place all in one to find that kind of information. But yeah, not really much else to talk about. Just want to make sure that there's nothing. I'm scrolling through my stuff real quick, but yeah. And there's a lot more with the SSRI stuff out there. So pretty easy topic to pull up. It's really blatant. Like, this never happens with people because it's not in our nature. Even evil people, usually they're like manipulative and they know when to do something, or like they don't want to just get, look at like a person like Hillary Clinton, just as like a example. She's not going to go out there and openly do a lot of the stuff that she's been accused of doing, but we know behind the scenes you have to do it secretively while appearing to look good to the world around you. That's usually how evil works. Or they're full-blown lunatic, just violent criminals. That's the other kind of thing, which is still bad. That's actually much more rampant than this stuff, but this is 100% caused by the SSRIs. I mean, come on now. Seriously. And I actually think that there's programs that these people go through, and that they actually do some like we've talked about in the past with breeding people to do specific things. We know that the Soviets did that, or at least the American media accused them of doing that. I 100% wouldn't put it past the Americans to do the same thing when it comes to that. But all right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. I think that's pretty good for today. Let's see, what song we're going to close out with. I think I'll just do my usual intro for the outro this week. But let's see if I have anything new. I don't know if I do. I had if anybody liked that new intro song in the chat. Hopefully the sound comes in good. I've had some issues with sound in the beginning before, so hopefully that comes out good. But we're going to just do our classic outro. Let's see here. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, y'all have a good one, a good day, good week, and I will see y'all next time right here on the Bays Gossiper program. Keep it based and gossiped. You better keep it so based. All right, y'all have a good one.
Sold out big time, and then he goes out to the middle of the field. What do you do? He goes, "Oh, Papa John, Mr. Pizza, Mr. Papa John," gives him a big old hug and a kiss. I mean, seriously, the guy was hawking pizzas like shamelessly. You just cardboard pizza, just get your shit pizza, America. Take it, eat it. And then, did you see this person? I guess her name is S.E. Cup from CNN. I was watching this earlier. I don't think I'm gonna watch the video, but she says, I'm SE Cub, and
Plug VPF. Everybody get over to Bays. Let's do this again. Bays Gossiper. Make sure that you like and subscribe. You saw him right here on Crucible. He paid the toll. We probably would have plugged him anyway, but it sure was nice that he did pay the toll, right? We appreciate that, Bays Gossiper. You the man. And we'll get those links up for you.
clear cut, you know. Obviously, one of their little number games, their little gematria that they like. They love their gematria so much. And, yeah, so here we go. And I had this really good video earlier of Bill Gates, and I X'd out of it, and I'm serious, I cannot find it. But I'll see if I can find that, but I'm not even going to try, probably.